Bună ziua, stimați participanți! Mă bucur să vă revăd, cel puțin online. Anul ăsta nu cred că am apucat să facem multe lucruri, însă noi am revenit așa ca de obicei în forță și acum startăm cu un nou webinar și anume SolarWinds, partea de soluții de la monitorizare la Observability, da? Oriunde, oricând. Cei care nu mă cunosc, eu sunt Adrian Cornei, directorul companiei Xon Tech Systems și împreună cu colegii de la Prianto, care este distribuitorul regional, am organizat acest webinar și cu mine astăzi este chiar directorul regional din Europa de Est, inclusiv state CSI, Remic Zimenski, și împreună vom face acest webinar. Înainte de a intra în webinarul propriu-zis, vreau doar să fac o mică recapitulare despre cine suntem noi, cei care nu ne știu încă. Xon Tech Systems este o companie focusată în livrarea de servicii și sisteme informaționale de securitate companiilor locale din Republica Moldova. Avem sute de proiecte implementate în Republica Moldova și expertiza noastră sperăm să ajute companiile locale în a deveni mai bune și în a-și securiza mai eficient infrastructura. De asta și astăzi suntem alături de voi împreună cu SolarWinds să vă arătăm cum asta poate fi efectiv făcut. Avem o echipă de specialiști în cadrul companiei care cu siguranță o să vă ajute nu doar în selecția unui sistem potrivit, dar și inclusiv în implementarea cap-coadă a serviciilor care noi le ofertăm. Ce vreau să rețineți este faptul că avem un departament tehnic bine instruit și vă putem livra cap-coadă orice tip de soluții, evident partea portofoliului nostru, pentru că pe noi ne interesează foarte mult rezultat și atunci noi încercăm să oferim tot suportul necesar atât până la identificarea soluției, implementare, cât și post-implementare. Am încercat și vreau chiar să vin cu un sfat direct către voi. În momentul, deci nu doar vreau să fac marketing, chiar vreau să vă dau niște sfaturi utile până a trece la efectiv la partea de webinar. Vreau să rețineți un lucru. În momentul în care faceți o implementare de un sistem, nu contează ce fel de sistem, vreau să țineți cont că în spate există un ciclu, da, de selecția lui până la implementarea lui și întreținerea lui. Ceea ce înseamnă lucrul ăsta că voi din start trebuie să țineți cont și de securitatea informațională. Trebuie să țineți cont că acest sistem trebuie securizat, trebuie monitorizat pentru a face o analiză de risc a lui. Pentru că orice sistem poate fi astăzi mic, el mâine poate să crească împreună cu companie și atunci este foarte important să țineți cont de acest lucru, pentru că orice sistem trebuie să vină în spate și cu un sistem informațional de securitate pentru a vă da monitorizarea, a vă da informația, a vă da vizibilitate ce se întâmplă cu el în caz de un atac cibernetic asupra lui. Și doi, partea de cele mai bune practici, ținând cont de familia ISO 27000 de securitate informațională, obligatoriu trebuie să țineți cont de acest aspect, da, de toată familia dată, cum îl implementați, prin ce pași, ce metode, proces, pentru că ele pot fi definite atât la nivel de companii cât și la nivel de companii multinaționale. Recomand neapărat să țineți cont de cadrul legal, dacă a Uniunii Europene, ce ține de GDPR, asta atunci când vreți să faceți export în afara țării, iar pe intern obligatoriu de cadrul legal național și evident dacă există o instituție bancară și de cadru legal, în cazul nostru Banca Națională, care este un reglementator. Este important să mai țineți cont de un lucru. Orice sistem care voi îl implementați, nu contează ce tip, da? El practic acoperă 7 layeri de securitate și avem nivelul uman, care este nivelul periferic sau de perimetru, rețea, endpoint, application security, data security și alte sisteme critice. De ce le-am afișat eu este doar să vă faceți o idee de un lucru. Atunci când aveți un sistem, este important să înțelegeți ce fac eu cu informația care o primesc, dacă se întâmplă un incident, cum reacționez eu, cât de rapid. Ne interesează să reacționăm proactiv sau retroactiv și atunci pentru asta avem nevoie să aducem o vizibilitate. Și atunci webinarul ăsta a reușit exact din lucrul ăsta. Da, de la monitorizare la observabilitate, da, să avem o vizibilitate clară pentru a putea reacționa imediat în cazul în care se întâmplă un incident. Și atunci exact asta am și făcut. Astăzi am încercat împreună cu colegii la SolarWinds să aducem toate astea împreună și să vedeți cum ați putea cu SolarWinds, soluția de la ei Observability, să obțineți această vizibilitate pentru a putea avea o analitică, da? Deci o informație pe care ați putea să luați niște decizii. Aici o să vedeți doar câteva mici data sheet-uri legate, nu e legat la SolarWinds, o să-l las pe colegul meu Remic să-l facă cap-coadă, dar să vedeți cum ați putea să luați decizii atunci când aveți informația la îndemână. Când aveți control la informație, puteți imediat să înțelegeți ce se întâmplă pe un sistem, pe o infrastructură, pe o aplicație, pe mai multe aplicații, pe o rețea externalizată pentru a putea lua niște decizii. Așa că astăzi, din partea companiei Xuntech Systems, avem pe colegii la vânzări tehnic pe care vedeți aici. Nu o să mai intru mult în partea asta de, să zic, prezentativă. Încă o dată vreau să prezint pe colegul Remic Zimenski de la SolarWinds, care o să facă imediat prezentarea când termin eu. Ce vreau să mai țineți cont? Pe parcursul prezentării, dragi colegi, dragi înregistrați, vă informez că toate întrebările, dacă e posibil să le puneți pe parcursul webinarului în chat. Chatul este partea de stânga, da, cred că a doilea buton de jos. Acolo puteți pune toate întrebările, iar la sfârșit, după ce terminăm prezentarea, o să avem o perioadă de vreo 20 de minute în care putem să luăm întrebări cu vocea. Cei mai activi de la webinar, m-am gândit să fac chiar și o surpriză. Eu o să-i notez și la sfârșit cei mai activi cu întrebări de clarificare, o să-i notez și la urmă o să le dăm câte o sticlă de vin bună, hai să zic o sticlă de vin de la un producător local, ofițească neagră cu saperavi, da? În așa fel ca să vă și facem ziua mai frumoasă și mai interesantă. Așa, vreau să vă mai spun că acest webinar este înregistrat, așa că după finalizarea acestui webinar, cu toții o să puteți avea acces la el, o să primiți automat acces, iar cei care nu reușesc o să fie urcați și pe canalul nostru de YouTube, unde să puteți accesa webinarul. Vreau să vă rog ca după el, când terminăm astăzi, webinarul dat, să ne răspundeți și la formularul de follow-up în așa fel ca să vă putem ajuta și alegeți soluția care vă se potrivește. Cei care o să dorească să testeze ceva anume, fie înscriți la direct, fie în urma mail-ul de follow-up, dar ați putea face acest lucru. Cam atât am avut să vă zic. Îmi pare bine că am dat startul la acest webinar și eu sper să avem o oră și cât a mai rămas, o oră jumătate de webinar productiv în care noi să rămâneți cu ceva suplimentar, iar noi să aducem un plus valoare fiecare persoane care a intrat la acest webinar. Remic, I finished my welcome presentation. I tried to explain how we can help all the companies that are with us right now, and I think SolarWinds have a great expertise, and we can help each company. It doesn't matter how the big size is the company, and I promise that we can deliver the best solution for their needs. But we need just to understand what exactly are their needs, to understand how we can do this. You can take from this moment, and thank you again for your time, your expertise, because we are great to be together. Thank you.
Adrian, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm taking the screen. May anyone confirm me that you could see my screen and you could hear me clearly?
Yes, you can see my screen. It's okay.
Thank you very much. So one more time, let me say, as Adrian said, we've got the chat. As far as I was informed, everybody gonna be rather muted at the start of this presentation. So if there are any questions you may want to ask, sorry, please provide them, on the chat. I'm gonna be try to. Okay. Welcome. I'm gonna be trying, to look at the screen and answer. If not, then I'm gonna try really, to answer all the questions at the end of the presentation. What I wanted to say is that I'm not an engineer, so that presentation is gonna be rather related to the strategic things, I would say. And I would like to also to present you SolarWinds as a company, obviously the solution, how we see the market, where we are, and yeah, like that. So let me start from the very beginning. So as I said, thank you very much for the opportunity to be together with you and present in front of you. So thank you, everybody. Also, would like to thank to Priyanto that we could, organize this session. Also, would like to say that, as far as I know, this is at least my first session for Moldova. So yeah, this is something new. But that leads me, to the situation to tell you a little bit about SolarWinds, how we got here, who I am, and with whom I've been working, how we precede the market. So, as was told, my name is Remik Szymiński. I work for a little bit more than a year for SolarWinds on the position of regional sales manager for Central Eastern Europe and CIS region. Prior war at Ukraine was also responsible for Russia, but due to the situation, it was simply terminated from our perspective. So that is me. I've been working on the territory. So each and every situation which is happening on the market from the sales perspective, I would say is my responsibility. I've been also working with my colleagues who are who've been managing, channel, operation, and so on and so forth. So we are bigger group of people. That group of people also consists engineers. So that is very generically describing, our situation. But let me now get to the solution. Okay, how we see the market and what is our possibly best solution for the market. So I would start with the statement that we obviously see the situation on the market, and it's hard to say that this situation is easy. Okay, we see the market as being, really complicated. There is a lot of things happening. Also, there is a slight change between Western and Eastern part of Europe, if we may say. Obviously, Western and Eastern, like United States, compared to Europe. There is several, but as I said, I don't think like we are that much of a similar. If we compare, for example, United States to Europe, I would rather try to concentrate on things which I believe coming from our region, means from Eastern Europe. I was born and I live in Poland, so I guess I understand this region. So let me look at it, from that perspective. So I typically start, this kind of presentation with saying that, as I said, we've got our challenges, which might be different, from the rest of the world. And I proceed for our region, the biggest, challenges might be talent challenges, related issues. So I would say that we are in the situation which is pretty much common, that in Eastern Europe we've got a lot of resources, we've got well-educated people, but at the same time we've got one issue which is simply related to the fact that if someone would be very talented, and well-developed engineer, a person, professional simply, that person might be simply proposed to move, outside of the region and earn better money. This is one big issue for our region, because like from one side we've got these resources, from the other we have to act like we are, constantly having to somehow protect or think about how we're gonna serve our duties, with the shortages we may face. So that is the first one, which I would mention, and later I would try to, connect my presentation to that. But the second obvious one would be state-sponsored security attacks. Okay. And as I said, I've been working in my region, so let me tell you one thing. In this very difficult situation, which is obviously kind of a tragic, I would say even, I've been working with Ukraine, and I would like to say that the second simply issue, which is state-sponsored security attack, is something which we definitely have to take into consideration when once we've been deciding of doing, our projects. Okay, so we are in the very difficult times of governments doing, the country doing, this kind of things. So let me just finish this, part with just one short question. Why do you do, or what's the sense, of doing IT projects, for example, for monitoring? While due to this, question, you might face that after something, wrong happen, that system might be simply turned off. This is the question. Yes, so we have to, I would say, prepare ourselves for the really difficult situation, and not theoretically, but also practically. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say. But now I would concentrate maybe more, on the company itself. So, to take you for this journey with SolarWinds. So the company was established in 1999 by, as far as I remember, two brothers. They were engineers, or they are engineers, but they established, a monitoring solution for networking products. That solution was as good, as it was warmly welcomed by the market. And then with the time, the company started to, expand and grow into different areas, but also, organically grow within the project. So within the product, sorry. So we started, developing this product, obviously, to making better and better, and with a bigger scope, it could cover. But not only this, we're also, as you could see on the screen, acquiring different companies. By acquiring different companies, we're spreading within the, I would say, environment, ITA environment. So how wide, or how from the, if we consider layers, how wide we can implement our solution, how wide we can cover, monitoring idea. And then, as you could see in year 2016, when we were named for the very first time by IDC, a #1 networking company. Okay, then within the following years, we were named, the company number, like for example, 4 in system management, 3rd in ITOM and performance analysis, and so on and so forth. There are gonna be additional slide about it where we are now. But let me just finish this subject as is. Yeah, would like also to tell you from our Eastern European perspective that SolarWinds, being an American company with a headquarter in Austin, Texas, United States, in fact really produces the products in different places. The products which I'm gonna be describing today, talking about, would like to tell you that they were developed in Eastern Europe. Okay, so we've got 2 sites which been the sites for developers, for DevOps. One is in Krakow, Poland, where we've got over 100, like close to 150 developers, and there is even like twice bigger in Czech Republic, in Brno, where we've got over 300 of developers. These people, they developed, these solutions, which I'm gonna be describing. So we can say these are the solutions which coming, from our place in the world, so to say. But also we've got a lot of different sites in the world which been serving, different purposes. But that situation, us doing the product, led us, it says it's a current state. It's not really current state. It's a historical state, I would say. But that led us, to the situation that, as I said, we develop our solution. That is our solution. So you could see it on the left. This is the solution for monitoring, which consists several different functions and possibilities, a lot of them actually. But it is important to know that we develop the solution which is designed by modules. Okay, so we develop different modules with different functionalities within this part of an environment which they've been about to cover, and by adding, one to the other to the other to the other modules, we can cover, each and every piece of your environment of IT. And then, as you could see, on the left, no matter that gonna be, or that information, let's say, at the end of the day, might come, from the network part of your infrastructure. It may also come from the systems, from the databases, from security, or from application, but also from additional systems, okay? So what I wanted to say here, that the very basis of our solution is the stack of functionalities based on modules, which you could implement, and by that, you could monitor your infrastructure. And by that, I wanted also to connect to Adrian's presentation, showing you layers of security. And I wanted to tell you, you know, this might be, I would say, like a generic statement, but let me say, you can't protect any solution in your environment which you simply do not know that this solution exists. And from that perspective, this might be, you know, different scenario. That might be even someone who came close to your company, you know, and been using, you know, and scanning your Wi-Fi. Yes. At that time of period of time, this solution, this device, this something, you know, is a piece, I would say, of kind of your environment. Yes. So to do something with that, you would have to know it. So that full stack of functionalities which are able to cover your environment one-to-one, you know, having this ability, not being able to monitor 90% of your environment and then not 100%, could lead you, you know, to the further situation which I'm going to describe in a while. So this is our present solution which we've got. I wanted to speak loud and clear that our previous solution, so historical one, which is called in our name Orion, we've been simply still delivering and developing because we still believe in this solution. It's just what I wanted to say now, that we started from this monitoring solution Orion and we went into observability solution. So that observability solution is something which you could see on the right. Okay, so we haven't stopped on monitoring. We've made a one step further. Observability is a technology which you could observe here on the market. I'm going to be talking about what's the difference between these two, but let me present where we got to. Okay, so based on our solution as we got it now, where we got to. So this screen shows you a real deployment which was done in Poland. It might be our biggest or one of the biggest deployments in Eastern Europe. That one is done for the government of Poland, for the specific institution. That's how it looks from the technical perspective. As you could see, you've got three main sites and several smaller sites. This is the installation which serves the network, which is used by schools in Poland. So that solution, so you see, this is the screen from the our solution side, but that's how it looks, you know, from the side of a customer, or how the service looks like. So we build the network or the monitoring over national educational network. This solution, as you could see on the bottom, is able to deliver a portal, also is able to deliver fast, safe, and free internet for the schools. Also, based on this environment, there is the school ID application provided, and the management of the solution. Okay, so based on our solution, historical one, which we still delivering, this is what we can get to. Okay, so this is the example of a project which was implemented, which is quite a massive one, because let me check one more time here. It serves 25,000 schools at once. Okay, and it covers 83,000 interfaces. Okay. So let me back, you know, to the situation. So I provided you an example of a project which we done with our monitoring, but I also told you that we've been somehow as a company moving into the area of observability. So then I would like to present you know, this difference between monitoring and observability. Ordinary monitoring, I believe you know, the solution is working like once you've got an issue. I can hear someone. A noise. Someone is unmuted. I don't know. Okay, backing to that. So with regards to the monitoring is a solution which gonna be delivering you the information that something happened once it happened. Okay, so that's how we should probably, understand this situation. There is something happening. We can see it somehow. We can, understand it that something is wrong. So then we dig into this information more and more, deeper and deeper, and we got to the one reason why it happened, okay? Or what happened, and then we solve it. Observability is slightly different. I would typically say, from my perspective, from my experience, it's somehow, similar, I would say, to the CM, security event and information management, or opposite. Yeah, and by that, I think that situation of monitoring is like I would say log management in back in the days, and observability is something like a very modern CM installation. Yeah, and by that I'm saying that observability, not like monitoring, is not only able to tell you what happened, but it is working for you to present you. Based on automation and several different technologies, that something happened in front of you. That situation, that information should be presented prior any other less important one. And moreover, it will not only tell you that this happened and where this happened, but it will tell you why this happened, and it shall give you, the ability to give you some actionable, things. So some things which you could do immediately after receiving this information. So this is observability, okay? If you still got, let's say, an issue with understanding what observability is about, let me provide you on a different example, which will be a bit of far, from our discussion, but that will show you, how far is, possibility of monitoring based on observability compared to the ordinary monitoring. So for that purpose, I copied, and presented you here the web page, or one of the pages, from Gartner. And as you could see, Gartner is talking about. Maybe you could see it. It's here on the bottom, a small, letters. But it says that Tesla got to the point that they would like, Tesla, the company which do electric cars, that they would like to offer their customers also insurance, okay, policies like. So they would like to sell insurance, not only cars. And to make that happen, and to be able to differentiate them, I guess, from the market, and to make their offer a very interesting, they use observability. What it means, they observe each and every vehicle. So means also they've been observing at the same time drivers simply who uses the car, and by that they can observe some behaviors of these people. Yeah. So by that I would like to tell you that doing observability may enrich your information, your situation, your understanding of a situation really like a big time. Okay, you could see way more things than you were able to see prior that. Plus, we can go, way farther than with ordinary monitoring. Okay, so it's a kind of an intelligence, extra intelligence, over the environment. And again, because of our goal being able to deliver full stack solutions, so to cover really whole environment in each side of this environment and at once, at the same time, whole of it, we are really able, to choose what's needed, to provide you the proper information. Okay, but let me go even further, because till now I was talking only about possibilities, what we could get if we decided to go one step further from monitoring to observability and be better in that space. I would like to tell you that the typical discussion, if you talk maybe not to the company which been offering this kind of solution, but to advisors which are like selling advisory, more generic, not a specific solution, they would tell you that there is on the market and I believe you observe it, by yourself, but still, they've been telling that there are several issues on the market which they can see. One of the biggest issues is obviously, number of monitoring tools. So by average, I would say, as far as I remember, Gartner would tell you, but not only Gartner, IDC and all the others, they would tell you that you might have even in one company like up to 20 different tools for monitoring, which is already quite a complicated stuff. But moreover, to make it even more complicated, it's a very ordinary situation these days, and this is pretty much weird, I would say, that these solutions are not integrated with each other. So that means, honestly speaking, that in a lot of cases, and I have to say, I can see it no matter the country. I can see it in Poland. I could see it in different countries, that I've been talking, really to the organization, which I would say they've got money, they've got customer, they've got the needs, to work on. And they sometimes say that to monitor something, they can do, but only within their, pillar, so to say. So I can see my stuff, but if I would like, for example, my solution, my application, which I'm responsible for, is run in my environment, or, this is my, this is my duty. But because it's run, on the virtualized environment, I have to, call my friend and ask him, how does it look, from the virtualized environment perspective, monitoring perspective. Yes, so that means that even in the modern, companies, we still got an issue that with number of monitoring capabilities, coming from different solutions, these solutions are not really delivering these capabilities, or they split these capabilities, so to say. They do not merge these capabilities because they are typically not integrated. So we've got number of tools. We've been paying for maintenance. We typically got, number of people serving this, and we cannot get, one big value out of that, simply because these solutions are not, integrated with each other, or we decided to choose the solution which is not able to cover everything, and then we have to, use number of different tools. So it's a very, very typical situation. And if you think about it, this is from at one side, this is kind of problematic, I'd say, but from the other, it's an opportunity, I would say, even, because if you look at it, that we've got number of, products and maintenances and people working on that, and it gives, it performance, it capabilities, and then we think what would happen if we, integrate everything into one tool, and we give these, views to these people as they want them to see it, so separated, with like regarding something to someone, but another view for another, person or group of people. But if it's this example which I provided, that there is the application, but it's been running on the virtualized environment, then they both, or at least this person from application perspective could see also not only application itself, but also could see the environment, which could be also this virtualized environment. That means that we can simplify the environment on the customer side. We can provide advisory, to the customer, that maybe they can resign, with not necessary additional tools, which are not, as I said, typically, integrated even, and so on and so forth. That means us, and this kind of ideas, which we would like more to discuss with customers. So things which let them being faster, have the value being bigger and faster again, and so on and so forth. These are the ideas we would like now to promote more. So not only technical capabilities, but the idea how we see the product from strategical perspective, and what values, except of technical values, can it bring. Like, as I said, for example, rapid time to value, or how we can serve a typical case being solved better, faster, and everything. Yes, so this is us. Another screen, which is by definition, I wanted to present you, that this is not a theoretical, discussion only, okay, which I've been presenting. This is a very practical situation, which was related to Facebook, so Meta, as you could see on the screen. And the situation is, which, as I remember, happened in 2021 or 2022, no, 2021, and it was related to the reconfiguration of core routers of Facebook. It was the DGP, as far as I remember, reconfiguration, which was done by them, and then because of the mistakes which were done, they typically got to the situation that they lost communication, like generally whole the communication was lost. To that extent that they couldn't, connect the solution remotely, so they had to travel, to each site and like reconfigure it, locally. That obviously led to the loss of a company, as you could see here, 65 million. I've made this screen based on Guardian, the newspaper, but if you look at Wikipedia, you could see like even 100 million loss. But it's nothing compared to almost 5% valuation of a company on the stock exchange, as you could imagine, yeah, because we've been talking about 5% of Facebook, so I don't know, it's like already billions, I guess, or something like crazy amount of money. The most important is, as you see it marked here, if this kind of situation may happen, for them, how would it be, for any other company which does not have like a lot of people, extremely well paid, blah blah blah, yeah. No matter the answer would be from you, as you could see on the screen, we see, on the right side, they say, we are sorry. Yes, they are sorry, and the situation is solved. Yeah, they are sorry. We believe that this is something which is not simply happening, for the ordinary customers. Yeah, they can't say I'm sorry, and this is like, it. Yeah, it has to be done in a different layer. So as I said, all of these till this moment leads me, to the conclusion that everything we do with the solution, we wanted this not only to be as it used to be, like, a very good technical solution, but also, to cover rapid time to value, faster time to resolution, and so on and so forth. So simply to support people who are working on our solution to let them get results faster and easier. This is the exact idea which is given by our CEO, to help people in the way, and this is the mission of our company even, that's how it is, verbalized, to help these people, in these difficult times to make their work, I don't know, faster, easier, better simply, so they got more time for work, for private time. Yes, so please remember, this, because this is really our idea which lead us, into the future. There is one more, which I not sure how popular it is, in Eastern Europe specifically, but also I would like to tell you, and I could see it, obviously, in our market too, that there are some part of the market which are farther than the others. And if we compare it, for example, with Western Europe, from that standpoint, I would say that cloud migration is a very popular stuff in Western Europe. Yes, they typically says that, even 90% or more is about to move to the cloud. We see quite the same, but maybe not 90%, like I would say, less than half, but still. And we can help with this journey. How we can help? Let me provide you, I guess maybe the most difficult, example. We could see with one of our resellers in one of the countries. This company is also the biggest Microsoft reseller, and they told us, no matter the reason, I can't say what is the reason really for that. They can see a movement of the companies who started, very early deploy in Azure, to move out of Azure. They said it's too expensive, and they would like to migrate into different cloud. So by that, I'm saying that for these companies, we are the vendor who could, deliver them the solution, which obviously would give them monitoring over the infra, which was implemented in the cloud, Azure in that case. But we also the company which is able to provide them the solution, which could connect or which could serve them in this cloud migration from one cloud to the other cloud. And moreover, you could imagine that they've got also on-prem something. Yes. So we are the company which can, step into this process of cloud migration, let's say, and no matter the stage, I guess, we could bring a value. Yes. If that's gonna be hybrid installation, so part gonna be in the cloud, part gonna be on-prem, and we would like to see all this infrastructure as one. Or, for example, it's gonna be the situation that the customer would have, as I described, cloud, I don't know, maybe hybrid and moving to another cloud, or if the customer would have, I don't know, even 2 native clouds. Yes, in each and every scenario I've mentioned, we can support the customer to let him see one infra, no matter where the infra is located, whether it's on cloud native, it's hybrid, or it's on-prem, or it's mix of those. Yes. Okay, that lead us, finally lead us to our observability as is and to our, I would say, portfolio, because what you could see on the screen is more or less, the biggest part of our portfolio. So what we've got here. So as you could see, at the very bottom, you've got a big secure by design. I will speak a little bit about it, but later, if you please, if I may. If you let me. So I would back, to the core of an offer. So again, on the left side, mark on orange, you've got monitoring. So again, this is our very basis. This is our monitoring offer, which is based on the solution, our historical ones prepared, with modules and so on and so forth. We took that solution and we a little bit change it, in terms of some functionalities, some details. We took it, as one solution. So we do not have, for the modern solution, this idea of solution being split into modules. This is at once one big solution, but I'm talking only about this insight of monitoring. And then together with additional capabilities, which I've mentioned here, like, for example, AI Ops. So we developed our own artificial intelligence operations. We also developed several different technologies, our own, like machine learning for letting, the solution to understand, different triggers, like, for example, whether the, I don't know, 90% of CPU working is good or bad. Yes. Because it might be both. Yes, it might be very good or it might be very bad. Yes, so for that purpose, we prepare our, for example, machine learning. Also, as I said, we got our AI Ops, and this AI Ops, I've told you at specific time that this gets in some of a way similar to CM. So in our observability, we've got capabilities which are able to give me a second because I forgot one English word, to concentrate obviously on the most important relevant things, but by working with several different sources and connecting this information into one and then cross-checking. Okay, so this is what AI Ops been doing. We also implemented open telemetry standard. This is the standard which been done, and it's during the development by all and every, the most important vendors and their equipment. So it's for the purpose to be able, to integrate with basically, all the important technologies on the market. And then, as you could see, so this gives this, green, let's say, bar observability. So at the moment, we are already with solution observability by adding AI Ops, machine learning, open telemetry, and additional future-proof, functionalities. But as you could see on the right, we've got even another solution, a service desk. So during the time of COVID, SolarWinds decided to acquire another company, the company which was doing, a service desk. It's a full IT tool, a big one, which you could compare to the best, service desk on the market. This is exactly the same level of a solution. And then if you look at this, this, I don't know how to name this color, but at the top, of this solution, you've got written hyper automation. So with that, we are getting, to the conclusion. Okay, so SolarWinds started time ago with monitoring, went through time with adding, different capabilities to this solution, so we could get to the point that we could say to our customers, we've got a full stack solution. We are able to monitor and now observe your full infra, no matter it's gonna be, a device, it's gonna be transmission in general, it's gonna be service, it's gonna be application, or it's gonna be stack of different solution and functionalities which gonna run as a service, I don't know, managed service inside or outside the company. In each and every situation, no matter the equipment, no matter the application, no matter it's the transmission, the service, it's the database application, and so on and so forth, we can monitor it. This is the full stack, and this is what we believe it's needed for the company to provide one view across the infra, okay, accordingly to how the solution is built inside the company. This is the reason, exact reason, for using full stack design, okay? Because by that, you can't say we cannot do specific thing. We can do each and every thing, generally speaking, which is possible from the integration perspective. But this is, I would say, monitoring observability point of view. But if you added, a service desk into that, and that service desk gonna be an ITIL tool, and a big one, like a really ITIL tool, you could add capabilities how the solution works, not only from its perspective, as a monitoring or observability, but you could imagine that since now we've been talking about this from the perspective of the ordinary employee of a company. Okay, so I'm the person, this kind of, and I've got an issue. Let's say typical one, yeah, to make it easy. So I've been using, applications, let's say Office, which is obviously, in the cloud, but still I'm more than sure that I've been not using cloud. I don't like using cloud, yes, and I've got an issue. Yes, it doesn't work properly, and I don't know what is going on. Yes, so I would like, to do something. I've been starting a case, raising a case, yeah, a ticket, on the service desk. This is exactly how we've got it, in SolarWinds. So once I got, to this place, I would like to raise a ticket, and I've started providing, I don't know, the description of a case or the title, even of this case, of this ticket I would like to submit. Then immediately the solution gives you, information how you can solve it. So me, on the level of ordinary employee of a company, once I've started, to complain, to communicate with the company that this situation happened, I've been immediately in an automatic way provided the solution for that, even to that extent that I can, choose from this menu, which been presented with several different, possibilities. I could choose one specific, which might say, that's gonna be the automation of an action which gonna bring you, to the solution. Yes. Okay. In that case, I've provided so the network and the application, which is Office 365. It is obviously a tricky case. Yeah. Because like 90% of the people would say we've got an issue with our transmission. And in real, 90% of an admins would tell you that's gonna be probably rather application than the network transmission. But to get to that point, that it was, Office 365, you have to observe this, as a solution in the cloud on the Azure side. So that is why, this full stack might be important. And again, what I said, so by SolarWinds platform, what we say typically, what we think typically, is our solution, which consists on monitoring extended to observability, but not only to that, it is one step further, if possible, at the customer, is the integration with service desk. We've got our own service desk. We've got two service desks, to be very honest, one on-prem, second, so this one from the cloud only. The first one is a smaller, it's a ticketing solution. This one is a full IT tool. But by that, I wanted to say that from our perspective, observability or monitoring, no matter you call it, we see it from different perspectives. So from two at least. So one is the solution itself. So this observability, in our case, it is called hybrid cloud observability, so HCO. But also the another perspective is SolarWinds Service Desk and its capabilities to work with users, yes, with employees of a company which been using, our solution. And by that, I'm saying, knowledge management, automation and different possibilities which are given not only by observability, but the combined, solution of observability plus service desk. And let me just tell you very briefly that our integration, because these two solutions are ours, is obviously our integration is crazy deep. Okay, it's proprietary, but because of that, you've got a lot of functionalities. I generally speaking told you that this brings us, this point of view, this brings us, to different possibility. That is what it is about. Yes. So please consider not only monitoring solution, but one step further. Okay. So the solution which is like an interface kind of, for the ordinary user between, this user and the solution, inside the company. Okay. I wanted to tell you, I actually told you that we are the company which been delivering, to a lot of different companies, our solution. We've got really very ambitious, customers. We are a very well-known company which been working with the governments across the world. I'm gonna present you a short slides about it. But to be able, to work basically with each and every company, no matter is the biggest, in the world or is the most ambitious, but it's not big at all, it's just, I don't know, a small company. We would have to be able to deploy in each and every environment. And that it is what it is about, yes? So we are the company which is able to deploy no matter the architecture, no matter the situation. We can deploy on-prem, we can deploy hosted solutions from the cloud. We could deploy, from the native cloud, we could deploy from the virtual, environment, doesn't matter. The situation we're gonna deploy no matter this, yes? So, so this was, the idea of simplification, I would say in our case. So you don't have to be worried, about the architecture, so to say, how you're gonna be deploying this. But we went one step further, yes? So we look at our historical Orion solution, again, which we been selling, still, but with its capabilities, but also now we've got observability, yes? So with observability, we went, one step further to simplification. So as I said, we took full stack Orion, our previous solution, and we, close it with one installer. And as you could see on the screen, we make it, simple with just two licensing models, okay? Or the model is one, there are just two type of licenses, yes? Just two, not more than this. So compared to Orion, which was based on modules, each module was, licensed and then sized differently and separately. It was way more complex. This one is a very simple. So as you could see, just two tiers of licenses. One is advanced, so it's simply, a maximum possibilities. It's basically a full stack of Orion, and the other is essential. There is a small but important difference between them, and this difference is, as you could see on the screen, is the possibility of monitoring of flows. So any flows, simply, of monitoring of a virtual environment, and the last is configuration monitoring. So once you've got this need, or your customer may have, this need. So again, would like to monitor flows and the information which is sent and understand it and so on. So this is the first reason. Second, gonna be, virtualized environment. We would like to manage it. And the third one gonna be the configuration management. In these cases, you're gonna use always advanced. If you do not need these three, or if you do not need these three, then you can go with essentials. Yes. Because we as a company would like to also serve not only small companies, but because of our cooperation with governments and large customers in the world, which, as I said, we've got a lot. We also, develop like a subversion of our licenses. So you could buy this license for, let's say, large customers. Yes. So if the customer is really large, and the customer already knows that this architecture gonna be kind of complicated, because let's say this is the company which is maybe multinational, and they've got different sites in different, places of the world, or this kind of, yes. So for them, we've got a very specific, license, as you could see. So you're purchasing the same functionality like we had a while ago, so essential or advanced. And from that perspective, we've been thinking whether the customer would like to post-process flows or monitor flows, configuration, or virtualized environment. And then on top of that, we've got these capabilities, which comes from this, which we call it, enterprise scale. So we raise, a premier support. So it's already, the support is better. And basically, I'm not going to be, explaining each and every functionality, but, by that, we could basically, in the same price of a solution, from the architecture perspective, that is, we could raise almost every architecture. Like within this price already. So this is the idea of it. Yes. So by that, we recognize we deliver, to companies which are small and ambitious, but not only. We would like to be able to deliver and be like very dedicated to the huge event companies or to the governments. You should be aware that we've been doing this also for governments on this layer. Yes. And as you could see, several different solutions and lab license at the very end. Yes. So you could, try your solutions. As I told you, a very, very important, difference between monitoring and observability are the capabilities of AI ops and machine learning, this kind of technologies. Why? Because if you look, I use this comparison to CMs, or even I said to log management as a historically speaking. Yes. So if you think about it, like from that perspective, you may remember that when it happened, the only purpose for CM and for log management, previous, CM, was, the reason that any person, ordinary human being, is able to read, all the logs which are generated by the system. So we've got this capability that the system then they can inform you what happened, and based on this information, you may recognize that something was really bad, happening, or it might be dangerous. But to get to that point, you have to, read it simply, and once you've got, millions of logs like that, it's very obviously difficult, to find it. Yes. Or at first, it was mostly about, collecting this information. Yes. So that was the beginning of CM. Now we've got the situation that CMs, they grown, into the space of, information, as I said, but also, enriched by, vulnerability management. So it gives information whether the source which is sending us the information about something happening is trusty or it's not trusty. Is it, it has vulnerability or maybe not? This kind of. So generally speaking, the systems like the CM, like CM was doing now, monitoring into observability, is about to reduce the noise. Okay, it believes that, by reducing the noise and bringing the most important information in front of your nose, sorry to say that, gonna give you, additional value. Okay, so we SolarWinds, we are heavily investing, into these technologies, so we could bring you not the capability of you being able, to dig somewhere and get to the information that something happened when it happened, but we would like to bring this information to you. Yes, so you could be, you could do things, as I said, better, faster, yeah, this kind of in more secure way. So this is about this. Yes, so this is the exact difference between monitoring and observability. And you remember, I said at the very beginning, two things that I would like to somehow localize my presentation, to you. And I believe, talent shortages, employee shortages, which we may face, or the other, argument which I used, that why to, invest in monitoring solution, which could be, simply turned off because, the solution is not protected enough, from the general perspective, so to say, from the development perspective. So yeah, this is about it, with this kind of a solution, which is, let's say, protected properly and is able to give you, for example, automation and simply, faster time to solving, the solution. We believe we are exactly, helping in this area, yes, where we would like to be, to make, this like more proactive, more protected, and yeah, more countable, let's say, actions, not just ability to do when something happens. Yes, it's not, we believe it's not like it's not good enough, for the serious, customers, probably for all the customers or most of them. Yeah. Again, let me tell you about the complexity we could do. So I said we could do small things, that is obvious, but not only small things. This is the slide we've been typically, presenting for huge customers and governments. And this is the exact, slide which I was presenting, also for the government of Ukraine, with which we've been really working now very hardly. And this shows, as I told you, no matter the situation, we're gonna be, or the government or the company, for some reasons which we do not know, decided to deploy on-premise, or decided to deploy, hybrid, part of on-prem, part of in the cloud, or decided to do pure cloud, or decided to do everything at once. So piece, on-prem, piece, hybrid, piece, native. We're gonna rise in each and every and all of them in common architectures and situations. We would be able to rise one console over it. If we consider, the government, that means that the government could hold the console and see a generic view, or the large enterprise company, I don't know, a person who is in charge of infra or the business continuity, or this kind of, because we could also, change information into Metascore and present it by that, from Metascore perspective. So that person would see, how the environment looks like, monitoring, yes, so to say. So this is this solution. And then one step further, as I said at the beginning of my presentation, when I was telling about, this support for migration between clouds, that is the exact information about it. I wanted to tell you that we've got a solution. This is the circle in the middle of the slide. We call it Cloud Connector, and that solution let us connect different clouds into one and present it like one, monitoring one solution, or one environment, maybe not one solution, one environment from your side. Yeah, so this is this capability of our company. Yeah. Okay. So we are getting, I've got slightly above 30 slides. So we are getting to the end. I wanted just to summarize it and tell you that another part of our move from monitoring, so from Orion to observability, is about, flexibility, simplicity, also this kind of situation, because based on our historical, on our experience, our customers who are using, Orion, they were asking us, to make it simpler for them, to grow systems. Basically, our licensing model was or is, because again, we've been still selling Orion, and it's a brilliant solution, really very widespread and across the world. But the customers, they believe that the licensing way of this is a bit too complex. So this is about it. With observability, we added technical capabilities to do things by the solution better in a different way, more accurate, more modern, I would say, kind of, but also to be way more simpler than it used to be. So this is about it, basically. We've got now very simple licensing model, as you've seen. Everything is pretty much very nice also for planning for the future. I've promised you that I'm going to be telling you a little bit about us and the government. Maybe there is someone on the call who's been representing a specific institution from the government of Moldova. I wanted to tell you that we are very active now in the region, as you could imagine. We've been talking, and the most challenging things we've been doing are obviously at the moment in Ukraine, where we are very, very active. We've got a lot of value we believe we can provide. We've been providing actually, already, but we are ready, to grow it. And to provide that information that this is not something like extraordinary for us. It's something which is related to our core of a company, I would say, to our identity, is a cooperation with government. So as you could see, in United States, because we are American company, as I said, our cooperation is a crazy good one. We've been serving, I guess, most of the agencies from United States. We've got a very specific agreement signed on the governmental level, which been giving some rights, to the government, which are, which are specifically for designed for the governments. I see I have to hurry up. We've got less time. Okay, so this was about us and the government. Obviously, as I said, we've been serving large companies, but for the government itself, maybe for the large companies too, I would like to present something additional. So for the governmental, deployments, as you could see, we've been presenting, that we've got a specific certification. That certification, or two certifications, or three certifications even, are FedRAMP. This is the certification for the government for United States. I believe may be used, for different governments. We've got already one FedRAMP, certification. We are about to receive the second one. As you could see, June, July, we're gonna have it. That would lead us to the situation that the information on the moderate level can be sent accordingly to the certificate through our solution. We've got also two certification for SOC 2 Type 1 and 2, and moreover, we've got the hyperscalers certification. So accordingly, Microsoft and Amazon for their clouds. Interesting part is that Microsoft got a very specific governmental cloud. As you could see, for Americas, we've got already certification. For Europe, we're gonna be fighting for. So I hope it will come. Okay, I'm really getting to the end of a screen. So I wanted to finish, getting to the finish, with telling you that our solution is not only what we've got. We've got obviously several different solutions or services, I would say, or the environment, whole one, around it. So obviously customer portal, partner portal, obviously support, success center, where you could, get to the knowledge base, etc. I would say that the most important part, as per me, how I see it, is the SolarWinds Academy. Is the knowledge place where you could, train yourself or your employees. This is exactly, I believe, related to these staff shortages, So let me connect it, to the idea that if we've got the situation, that we've got SolarWinds implemented at your company, and we unfortunately got to the point that the person who was, in charge of this solution is about to leave because of some reasons, and we are not able to block it. What I wanted to say by that, you could send your, another person to the SolarWinds Academy, which is always free of charge for customers and partners. and and solve the situation within the time. Yes, so this is the very simple solution. Obviously, if you decided, for example, for any kind of, I don't know, open source solution, that situation gonna be very, very different, with losing resources. And the last one, which I believe might be the most important one, honestly speaking, is the TWAC. So you see it, on the bottom. It's our community. It consists around 200,000 engineers working on our solution and exchanging, results of their work. So if you've got something which is custom, very specific, this is the community where you could, get to. That community also produces, solutions for our solution, and this is also included in our solution. So you could choose, like in the tabs, additional capabilities of our solution, which comes from us, but then you could open, additional content being produced and delivered by TWAC community. So that's why I believe this is the very important stuff. Then you see, several different screens, which are, in details presenting you different capabilities. So as I said, customer support portal, this is this TWAC community. Here it says, as I could see, 185, but it's like around 200,000 people working. Success center, so you could see, you are new to product, you could see, how you could do things, yes. SolarWinds Academy, so delivering certifications for different technologies. So yeah, different functionalities within our solution event. So it's going deep. This solution is valid for 3 years. Sorry, not solution. This diploma is valid for 3 years. So I believe it's worthy to invest into that. And also, for your information, it is considered by the engineers, worldwide as one of top 5 networking certifications they might, achieve. So it's a okay one, I would say. This is our SolarWinds Academy. As you could see, you've got a lot. Also, trainings which happened in the past. So you could always come and back to something which happened in the past. Getting really to the end, I just wanted to tell you that this is us here and now. The last screen I was presenting about the company in general was tapping, as I remember, on 2020 or 2021. We've been continuing with that, as you could see. We are still the leader of a market. Number of our customers is growing, and it's very important, I believe, that almost all the biggest and more ambitious companies in the world are our customers. So this is, I believe, the most important information. And here I've got really, like, as I remember, 3 slides. So I wanted to summarize the difference between monitoring and observability. Yes, so I was talking a lot observability, monitoring. So one more time, the last time, what is the difference? Yes, so please look at it and read it with me. So observability is still a monitoring, but the difference between observability and monitoring or management is that the observability is focused on the most relevant and important issues. Yes, and to keep them at the top or near the top. Yes, from the process perspective, what is observability? Observability is process which differentiate, more routine information from the critical one. So this is the difference, exact one, between observability and monitoring, okay? What I wanted to present you. And this is really the last slide I wanted to tell you. This is us and where we are going. So I've told you, I've started with our monitoring as a basis, for our solution, which was then grown into observability with additional functionalities and with our service desk connected into something which we call SolarWinds platform. But we are going further. Having observability is not the final goal of SolarWinds. Is the step towards the bigger event platform, which is able to do observability, and at the same time, this platform should be able to do the autonomous event decisions about solving issues, which the platform could face, at the environment, if it's aligned with the customer strategy, always, obviously. Okay, so this is us and this is our goal. Thank you very much. I finished. And sorry if it was, too long. Yeah. And now if I've got any question, let me see. I'm not sure if I can see.
Or maybe
Yes,
we can take the question by voice.
Yes, would be even
Natalia,
better.
can you help us, please? Natalia, are you with us?
Yes, if anyone has a question, can raise a hand or send it via questions, please.
Adrian, maybe you've got a question. You start, brother. What is your question? Ask me a question, please.
Okay, but I will ask you, but I will not drink this
But
bottle of
be
wine.
delicate.
I will share
Be
with you.
delicate, okay?
Okay. I see that the SolarWinds has a lot of interesting solution, and you show us some examples for the government market and the commercial one. And I know that the first question from the customers is about the licensing model, but when we are talking about the observability, could you please tell us in more details how this is happening?
Sure, of course. So again, I have to tell you, we've got 3 different solutions, okay? At the end of the day, the solutions are pretty much similar, let's say. First solution is Orion, okay? Is the one I've said, which we started developing from. That solution is a bit complicated from the licensing perspective. Generally speaking, you could purchase this solution in 2 models. One is subscription, the other is perpetual. Means subscription, you purchase, you know, like once every, I don't know, time, a year, let's say. The other solution, which is on-prem, not on-prem, perpetual, obviously could be on-prem, means that you purchase one time the license, then the license is yours till the end of times, but there is a part which is maintenance. We typically says it's around 15% up to 20, let's say. And this value of maintenance, you pay additionally every year. So you do not pay the basis, let's say, of a license. You do it once. When you're buying, you know, for the first time, you've got this maintenance for the first year inside the price, you know, so you purchase it, and for the first year, you are like, you don't have to do anything, like you just use it. For the second year, if you haven't purchased it, you know, like at first for 5 years, let's say, or for 3 years or whatever, then you have to purchase, you know, this maintenance. So this is first difference. It was Orion, okay? 2 models, you know, with second product, because I said we got 3. So now is the second product. It's observability. We've got these 2 licensing models. So which I provided, essential and advanced, and I said it could be enterprise scale, let's say, yes, but just 2, you know. So you could choose this or that, okay? Then both Orion and observability, we just have to scale them. How big is this solution? Yes. So not only what are the functionalities which you would like to cover, right? You know, so I said essential, advanced, but also how big, how many nodes. With observability is very simple, because with observability we've been counting nodes. Nodes means a device with IP address on it. Full stop. Moreover, if it's the controller of a Wi-Fi, let's say, we're gonna be counting, you know, one IP from the controller, and we're not gonna be counting, you know, access points. Obviously, we're gonna be monitoring and everything, but that's how we count it. So with observability, it's very, very simple. How many devices you've got with IP address, which we're gonna be monitoring. Full stop. If you says 100 nodes. If you says 1,000 nodes. With Orion, it's a little bit different. This first one, we count, depends on the module. So I would rather not describe it here, because I might, you know, a little bit mess you. You just come to us. At the end of the day, it's gonna be ports to be monitored or number of devices. If we're gonna be, you know, monitoring storages, obviously it's gonna be, you know, storages. volumes, yes. If it's gonna be IP addressing, pool, then it's gonna be number of addresses. So it depends on that. It's a little bit more complicated, as I said. With observability is just not. And then there is the third solution. So we had first, second, and now third. Third solution is also observability, but as a service, managed service from the cloud, straight, nothing, just a license, coming from the cloud. Our deployment in not Eastern Europe, in Europe is Frankfurt. So yeah, and this is it. And then you've got only nodes. So that's how we do.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I have another question for you. From our audience, of course, we have a big companies, small companies. If we are talking about the small companies, do you have, any limitation of the company sizing or not for the SolarWinds product?
Again, let me talk about observability. Like I have to differentiate, okay? So let me start from observability. So thank you very much for the question, because I always got impression when I present, like at the end of the day, it looks like we've been doing, huge projects, and if someone got like a real project, like, we are not that interested. It's, opposite to that. Yes. Yeah. It's not like that. Definitely not. We recognize two markets. Okay. I would say even three markets, at least, So governmental market is governmental. I've addressed, governmental because I wanted to speak to someone who is from the government that we've got these capabilities, but to get to this point, what it means really, we would have to start talking directly, okay? But I'm telling, we've got the idea, how to work with governments, and not only idea, we've got really good experience how to do it, and a lot, things to be said. But for the market, business market, so to say, I believe that our solution is same good for any size of a company, because you see, Adrian, like for example, I've got one customer who I met once, in a very fancy, office building, and they said like they've got like a lot of, office space, and they said, Remy, what do you think? Like, what kind of equipment we've got here, and how many? Yeah, and I said like, I don't know, what do you have? And they said, one switch we've got. That's all. The rest we've got in the cloud and everything. So the size of a company does not show, real the business which is behind it, or it's not like automatically connected. Yes, it could be. So what I wanted to say, I don't want you to think like SolarWinds is only for large companies. SolarWinds actually starts. So the smallest license of observability. I'm saying that from my mind. So like don't count me on that, to the very end. But I would say that we cost for 25 nodes, so 25 devices, IP devices monitored. We cost yearly. I'm telling now a subscription price yearly. So you've got everything included in that. It's gonna be the simplest. So it's gonna be essential. And I would say it's gonna be below 1,500 euro a year.
I think it's amazing. It's a very good price.
It's a really aggressive price. You could please go, to SolarWinds webpage. We are very honestly speaking, as a company. You could even request the price. You can't buy, from the webpage. You have to do it still by the channel. But you could ask for the price, and you're gonna have it. And honestly speaking, I can't remember, but like we charge a month for one device, like I don't know, below €5, for total monitoring. And then obviously it scales into like 25, 50, 100. It's very aggressive, I believe. Like in many tenders I've seen, we are really good price-wise. We are really good. We are really aggressive with price. Yeah.
Remy, in this case, I have another question. If the customer wants to take the product in internal testing, he will receive full functionality of the product on the testing period?
Again, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. You see, I forgotten to say something which is also just crazy important. SolarWinds is a company, I believe, which loves, people to just try the solution by themselves. Okay, I've been talking a lot, and I can talk like a lot, but I strongly believe that it's way better, for you to just use our solution. And from that perspective, I just really wanted to tell you, we want to be very, very transparent. We want you to go to our webpage. Each and every solution which we offer, you can download. You just have, a button next to the name of a solution. This is the trial for 30 days. If we've got a more difficult, deployment that we have to work on something very specific, we would obviously work on it. Means if we would have to, extend the period, we would extend the period. Like, this is the most important part from my perspective, engineers to take it, to use it, because I believe, like, we could talk very clever things, and like that, but honestly speaking, after I start, for example, after I start working with Ukraine and the situation which is happen, it is very obvious. I would like to be very strict and honest. Why do you use solution which could be, for example, turn off, or which is not useful for you in the most critical situation? Yeah, just try it now. It's a good moment, to do it. Yes, and if you believe, yeah, I like it, what I've been using, this is exactly it. Yeah, this is exactly it. That's what I believe. So, answering your question, yes,
Yeah.
we would like you to use. Yes, that's gonna be completely 100%, productive. The same, simply, as the productive licenses. No any change functionality wise.
Okay, great. Thank you for the question. I think our time is finished. Maybe
we've got
let's
one
check
more.
the-
We've got one more. I can see. Seems like SolarWinds investigates the client's IT infrastructures, needs, and offers system stability control via different monitoring software installation into client systems. Via different monitoring software installation into client system. Not sure if I understand. Is it a, I don't know, a question about integration? If I understood it well, maybe not, but it's also the information is important. I wanted to tell you, obviously we've got our functionalities, capabilities, and so on and so forth, but please be aware. We are the analytical tool, okay, like there is some, on the market. From that perspective, we are the database, what we've been, providing, and the engine. The database is a Microsoft SQL standard, kind of, So what you could say, or how you could proceed that, in 80%, we typically say it doesn't mean that it's really 80%, yeah, but it's general statement. Then in most of the cases, like let's say 80-90%, we're gonna cover your needs from the functionalities which we just deliver, with the solution. Yes. But if you've got any specific ones, like here, there is a additional solution working, at the customer. Yes, a very unique one. Then it is about integration. And obviously, this solution is not only, as it is, part of the capabilities are the capabilities of a specific deployment, specific integration, specific customizations, and so on. Yes. So that's what I would like to say.
Yeah.
Obviously, we integrate with different solutions.
I see the question in Romanian. I will try to translate exactly what the participant has in his mind. His question: if this solution can monitorize the health of the equipment, for example, we have a server and the disk is not working anymore, hard disk. Yeah, can we monitorize with the solution the status of the health of the entire system, of a storage or server, for example, and if as well this solution could be integrated with the service desk tool? Yeah, we have two questions here.
Okay. So again, thank you. Yes, the solution could do two things, both things, could concentrate on what you said, as you said, and then report it. So the answer is yes, we could report health of a device from different perspective, okay, and provide this information to the console, visualize it and everything, yes, and use it, generally speaking. So this is first. Second, which I tried to describe, is we could use the same information, let's say, about the device, for example, the temperature, of, I don't know, of a component of this, yeah. But this server or this switch or this router or this storage or this something, or this virtualized platform, let's say, in general, piece of it works, as a platform for the solution, which would be, I don't know, application, let's say, yeah, any kind of application which is used by the company, yeah, we deploy. For that company, we could also monitor these parameters which you said, but present them, not only from the perspective of a device itself, but also from the perspective of a service, yes. So you could see colors, metascore, of a service, yes, and you see some things are working okay. So you've got, let's say green dots, boom, 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 boom. You've got, like, for example, servers, boom, 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 boom. One server on red, okay. You've got then something, boom, 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 So, but you see, one was red. Okay, then you click, So we could monitor it, from the device perspective, but also we could incorporate it into bigger picture of a solution, and then to get to that, from that perspective. So we could reflect, let's say, a small issue with a temperature somewhere, with a small, let's say we've got two power supplies in the device, and one is broken. Yes, sorry, one is broken. Yes. So we could, obviously, we see it, from the device perspective, but we could also see it, from the service perspective, that since, the failure, we've got just one power supply. So this could reduce the metascore of a solution. Everything works, but the metascore was reduced because something, okay? That is one. Second, which is also very popular, massive, actions which goes regarding the compliance. Yes, we see something, so we could propagate massive actions, towards that. We don't have to work, one by one. Yes, from our solution perspective, it means if we've got a pool of devices, we could contact to this pool of devices. Yes, this is another, like, you don't have to do one by one. So it also really helps, from the compliance perspective. Yes, or post compliance, yes, once you have to deploy, the results, the advisory after, like that. Yes, so there are many. I would say, what is monitoring and observability? I would say is something which we really know. It's more modern, and from that perspective, it's more assigned to the times. Yes, that nowadays, we do not have one server for one purpose. IT is way more complicated, and it's becoming way more complicated even than this. Yes, like, for example, moving to the cloud, and then moving from one cloud to another cloud is just getting crazy, So this is it, because on the technical layer, you and me, we know it could be done. So we are the company which been doing this. Yes, so like helping, someone who is behind it and have to solve it. This is us. So I believe these are the more accurate, more modern technologies, but this is a very human-centric kind of, how to do things better, faster, being more resilient, not being related, to the person which might, leave work or be, I don't know, sick, this kind of like, or have a lack of will to, to deploy, I don't know, different configuration or a system upgrade of operation system, whatever, This is it, Then you've got the solution which could do each and every. It's really hard to say we can't do something from that perspective, that there is a piece, if we want to do, for example, storages, and there is a piece of storage included, obviously we say, no, we can't, yes? But if there is, simply, we would like to be, in the situation, the scenario, that we cover everything, but we can then deliver, every value. And then it's about what do you want us to provide you? the screens which we've been providing you, is it enough, or do you want to, change, or do you want to, deploy a very specific solution for you? Yes, this is rather about it. Yeah, because we are total monitoring solution. We are able to monitor everything, totally. That's what I wanted to say.
Thank
And
you.
we are good in that, and we deliver, value relatively easy and relatively cheap compared to others. Yes, like Splunk, for example. No one's seen, huge installation of Splunk. Yes, like at least I'm talking about myself. I like, from that perspective, way, like not better. We are way better. Yes.
Thank you, Remik. I think you answered the customer question.
Thank you.
Let's see if we have another one. Maybe Natalia can help us, please. And please provide me after the webinar the name of the participants who make the question. Just noticed, because we want to share a bottle of the good wine, red one.
Oh, I have to ask a question.
Yeah, you're always we are always waiting for you in Moldova, because you can.
I know. I will come. Really, in a second. I will come.
Okay.
I guess
I see no more question. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I can see. I just wanted to say, you've got Adrian. Obviously, you've got Priyanto behind Adrian. You've got us behind Priyanto. Please, ask a question, invite us, for a meeting. We are for you. Yes, we've been traveling, talking, locally. So anything we may provide you, we are exactly for that purpose. Yeah. And thank you very much.
If you know one of each customer of the today webinar wants or has maybe any question, or maybe they want our support, technical one, commercial one, doesn't matter. We are here locally, and we are waiting for your requests, and we will try to be very fast on the answers, and to find the best solution for each customer. Doesn't matter how is the company size, how you said, small or big one. You'll be here.
I realized a short one. I realized I haven't answered, the question about the integration with Service Desk. Yes, we can integrate, obviously with different ones, or also with ServiceNow, to name it, okay. But we believe we are on the same level as ServiceNow, to be very honest, with the quality of our solution. So that is one. Second, for someone who might be, from the governmental market, I wanted to tell you that I've got impression, more even than impression, knowledge, I would say, that we understand a very difficult situation which is now going on. We've got experience with talking and doing things with Ukraine, not only. As you could see, on the screen, we've been serving American Army, we've been serving NATO, and so on and so forth. So if there is this kind of need, I wanted to tell you that we can be a company for you in this very difficult moment. Yes, and we understand this difficult moment, and we know what we have to do in this moment. That's what I wanted also to tell you. But if you are interested, please just tell us, come and let's talk. Yes, and then we will come and talk. That's what I wanted to say. So we understand this time where we are at. Yes, or in, I don't know how to say it properly in English.
Okay, Remik, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to meet you, and I think all the audience was we hope to help each other, and our market will be more ready for using SolarWinds product. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
See you, I hope, soon, possibly. Take care. All the very best. And in terms of any questions, please send us. Take care. All the very best.
Thank you. Have a nice day to all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.